Hey all. So it occurred to me that I didn't show off all of Brett's handiwork. He came here, he did an excellent job replacing all these. I'm impressed. Because people are probably aware, I mean, this is tongue and groove. And I didn't get to see how he did it, but that he was even able to just get that in like that. I think that's really cool. So all that is done. Those things are replaced. Obviously, I'm going to come through here and put some more lifetime here. I was talking with him a little bit about some of the stuff I'm going to have to change out. So I'm going to add this. The next part coming up on this video is going to be him talking a little bit about some of the stuff that he had to do to make this loft work, which I thought was pretty cool. And asked him to talk about that a little bit on video. Like I've said before, I mean, what a great company and what great people. He was a really interesting guy to talk to, just as far as if you ever get a chance to talk to Brett, as far as just the life he's lived and where he's been and everything. I get the feeling that Randy kind of attracts people like that around him. So anyways, things are good here. Outside we have I can't remember if I actually shot video. You know what, I'm gonna pause this and I'm gonna flip direction so I can show you guys outside the stuff that's going on there just real quick, just kind of give you an idea of what's happening. All right. So here's actually this hole right here is one that I've dug just completely with a pick and shovel, working my way around. The interesting thing is that, of course, as you can see, getting down into there, starting to having to swing the pick kind of sideways to get at some of that. But I mean, this is just the rocks just out of there, and obviously that's not all the rocks, it's just the big ones and the ones I picked out. I mean, there's still some rocks over here in the pile of dirt that came out of there too. So not all of this here, all of this that I immediately right here is dirt that came out of that hole. That's the other dirt, and that's a long story. This is where a very cool guy who's also the fire chief here came over with his equipment and hired him to start digging more of these holes. Hopefully, I think tomorrow morning we're going to work on the other side. He wanted me here to just basically spot just how close that this gets to the supports. He was, a little comfortable without having me here to continue working on the other side. But that was right there where you see that exposed concrete is where that chunk was. That whole area right in there was filled in with a couple pieces of concrete, basically. And that was, to show you over here, these. And some people commenting, I can make a bench or something. I don't know, I do want to do a garden out here. I love working in the dirt. It's definitely good for a lot of things. So anyways, and somebody mentioned, well, you can use it as a bench. I could. Who knows? I mean, there's a couple other chunks of concrete that came out of the ground over there from when the guy who I'm working on buying the land from, when he dug some stuff out. So there's all kinds of stuff like that around here. This one is a little bit more, chunky shaped, I guess, or whatever. But yeah, that was pretty sure actually this one right here was the one that was at an angle, but still that's huge. I think this one might have been the one that was underneath that actually, but I'm not completely sure. Anyways, that would have been a trip to try to break that up with a sledgehammer when I didn't even know how big it was. And like I said, it looks like that other piece down there was attached to it, and he just managed to break it off. So that's really, I think he did an excellent job. It's been a trip, but we're getting there. These holes are about as deep as they need to be. I'm going to put some more, well, either moving dirt around or probably put a little bit of dirt back just to get them flattened out and graded, because these are about 4 feet and I just need 3 feet. And then have my gravel that I ordered in that I'll wheelbarrow on over here and put that in. And then we just got to do the other side. We got the sonotubes here and our number 3 rebar, and the guy who's going to do the concrete is ready to do that, and the holes are ready, obviously, too. Have that in, and then it's just a matter of getting those. I forgot, actually got them in the back of the car. Some nice big braces for the 6x6, which is sitting out back here. Oh, where did I put that? Shoot, oh, where did I... Hey, no, that's the. Oh yeah, there's a 6x6 behind the 2x4s. So basically, I'm going to be cutting pieces off of this 6x6 to make my six posts, which each of them is not going to be that long, as you can see. And I'm going to use a water level to cut them all to the exact same level. I'm going to use a water level to figure out basically which one which corner is my, kind of corner to base everything else off of. And then we'll go from there as far as determining the heights of the different lengths of post. Those will set in there. Those will be tied together with 2x4. I'm not sure if this is going to actually be enough. I haven't done the math yet. I'll have to go back over that and make sure. I might need a couple more 2x4s, but anyways, I got those while I was getting the sonotubes and everything else, because I actually had somebody deliver them, because there's no way I was going to be able to fit all that into my Subaru. It would not work very well. But anyway, so it's come along, and who knows? Hopefully no more than a couple weeks to get this all done and moved in, and I'll show you guys that. But anyway, so this was a lot longer intro than I meant this to be, but throw on to here the stuff that with Brett talking about the loft, which again I think is really cool, having him explain that. So all right, thank you all.
As far as carrying this over, yeah, so these are two different heights. This I forget, I think it's 7'2". I can't remember, I'm 6'3", so maybe somewhere around there. But the top of it might have been. And then this was the height. This was 6'8 3/4", I think is our standard, or 6'8 3/4".
Yeah.
To the top of that. And just figuring out how to make these two come together with just this opening here. Obviously this, supports the weight, and this is a giant beam that we made to support the weight. But figuring out how to tie those two in together and making it all level on the top and make sense and not have a weird step down. We try to make it as trip hazard free for you as possible.
Yeah.
So of course this one is down, so this here is like a little wall, which you're very familiar with. So
yeah.
It ends there, and then that was just built up and then trimmed out. But yeah, this intersection right here was excuse me, very tricky to figure out as far as what size boards to use, where to notch it. So this larger beam supports a lot of the weight coming across here, and this also ties into it as well. So it's holding, this big beam is holding both of these sections, and it's not going anywhere.
Oh yeah. Well, and it's funny because when you're talking about that, so one of the things I know originally with the design I did, I knew I wanted, this right here to be because of the door. So I knew the height.
Yeah. Or get a shorter door.
Yeah.
You don't want to duck every time you go in.
Yeah. And that was, basically all on the design that I sent to Kate, all I had was like this, literally, it just shot there. That was it. I didn't have any of the details as far as what you actually did to make that work.
That's what I had to figure out.
Yeah. Which, at first when I think I saw in one of the videos, and I was kind of like, that's not, and then both seeing it there and then also seeing here, I'm like, okay, actually that made what I wanted work without me having any idea how I was actually going to get there.
Time, man. Yeah, and it changed a couple of times, so you may have seen an earlier video that I put some just temporarily, I did put a lot of 2x4s up.
Yeah.
Just to sort of see how it was going to connect, and then so those that had to come down and then figure it out.
I think at first, actually, I think the bathroom it was like here on this board that it was supported by like 2x4s that were going down. I think I saw in a really early video.
Yeah, so when we were
trying to figure it out.
Lofts out, yeah, so that was supported by 2x4s, and this was too for quite a while.
Yeah.
And that's so that we can start the construction up there and have a beam sticking out and start working off of it. We have to have 2x4s to support it. And that's another one of the reasons why we put the floors in last. So when you stick a 2x4 in there and whack it with your hammer, you're not scraping the floor. We try not to do any temporary supports once the floor's up. If we do, we've got little pads we put under it, but we try to get all that done ahead of time.
So now, was that something that you just completely figured out on your own, or was there somebody else who came along and said, "Oh yeah, here's an idea"?
No, I was on my own with that one. It took me probably a full day of messing around, maybe a day and a half messing around, figuring it out. A little bit of cussing, a little bit of throwing boards around, and then it just clicked. Okay, this has to go there and this has to go. So there are other boards under here that you can't see. They're covered by your shiplap.
Yeah.
So if you pop all this off, you would see how everything's connected and the strong ties we use and all that.
Okay. That's
A lot
cool.
of screws, a lot of glue.
Well, that's
a
too.
lot of
Also,
fasteners, a lot of everything in there. Yeah.
to do that much and then also be able to cover that up in that space. That's
Well,
pretty
that's the
good.
biggest thing too, is trimming it out, making it not
Look
look
nice.
like a big chunk of lumber.
Yeah.
You know, and that's some people like that, most people don't. We usually want the siding,
Yeah,
the shiplap.
very cool.
So you've just got a little bit of staining to do in those patch spots. Oh, one other thing.